in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving higher, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving higher.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast Morning Show with Brent Carlson. This week, the sponsor, as every week, is Dawson Tire and Wheel, the premier tire and ag wheel provider in North America, helping people grow. Brent, what's going on, man?
Dawson Tire. Okay. I had to get my literal 10 cents in there.
You got it.
Oh, it's going pretty good. I wish you would throw in my sponsor there, because this week our sponsor on the Dryland Farmer podcast is Dutch Oven Perfumes, and I bet they pay better than Dawson Tire.
Well, they're probably going to smell a lot better, I'm sure.
Oh, man, we're doing great down here. Actually had a little shower of snow yesterday. We had snow on the ground for about 3 hours, and by lunchtime it was gone, but it was still blowing probably 30 miles an hour with about a 30-degree wind chill. So it was nice outside. But, yeah, we're doing good. We're in the middle, getting in the middle of stock show season now. So doing all that. We're got back from the heifer show from Fort Worth this past couple days, and we're going to be heading back there for the steer show next week. So all kinds of great excitement going on, hitting the highway. And I understand that you're a very big connoisseur with all things agriculture.
Yeah. My knowledge of agricultural practices run deep. Run deep.
Yeah, very good. Or we can just keep talking about South Park before we started recording. So, just whatever. We need to do a South Park episode. Casey Seymour goes to the farm. Just be a bunch of F words bleeped out is what it'd be.
Yeah, we can make a reality show out of that, I think. Pretty
Dang
easy.
Right. You'd be like The Simple Life, except with Casey Seymour and not Paris Hilton. So,
yeah. I did haul hay one summer, so I've got
Did you have your shirt off the whole time?
No, I never understood that. I could never understand why people did that.
Why the hell would you do that and be itchy for the rest of your life?
Yeah, here's a Brillo pad. Rub it on your bare skin.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? Yeah, I've never understood that. Yeah.
The top of your pants aren't covered, so it can get down in your stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody who would want that. I don't get that.
That.
We did a whole episode a couple years ago of farming in shorts, and I don't get it.
No,
it's just
get that
no protection. Maybe those people farm. No, there's people that do it here, and we have rattlesnakes, so I don't get it.
I mean, only good things come from that, Brent. That's why people do that.
And I'm all about shorts on the golf course and other places, but the farm, I just got to have my britches covered.
Yep. No, it makes sense. Makes sense. So Brent is on a fabulous podcast, and if you haven't listened to it, you are probably looking for nirvana, I would say, and go out and try to listen to this good old-fashioned podcast called the Dryland Farmer Podcast with my good friend Brent and Landon out there, and they have a podcast that's kind of like, I guess the best way to put it, it'd be like a Seinfeld episode. It's really not about anything, but it's funny. It's funny on top of that. So if folks want to find your podcast and all the great things you guys are doing, where do they go find it at?
Well, they find it at the same place they find the Moving Iron podcast, and that's anywhere podcasts are found, sold, given away, or stolen. That's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and, of course, Twitter. You can follow us at Trader Brent, and also Landon is at NoTwitLandon44. And, of course, just like the Moving Iron podcast, we're a member of the Global Ag Network. We're all over the globe. Even Antarctica, we've got listeners. So find us all over the place.
Yeah, we have a good little thing going there. So a lot of stuff going on. I guess we probably can't not have a podcast this morning without talking about the good old coronavirus. And I saw something on Twitter the other day that made me laugh. Is like, do you want some Lyme disease with your coronavirus? And it made me chuckle a little bit on the inside. But I guess this coronavirus thing is it could be like the bird flu or SARS or avian whatever else, and this, that, and the other thing that's come from China in the last 20 years. But it seems to China seems to be a good breeding ground for respiratory diseases, I guess. So I guess what have you been hearing about that, Brent? And have you been following it at all? And kind of what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I've been following it, of course. Just from my initial, little Google and research I did, it looks like it's a very treatable disease. It says only in rare cases. Of course, you could probably find other literature that says otherwise, but it says only really in rare cases is that it's lethal. And
well, it sounds like the people that have died so far have been elderly, and,
compromised.
they're already sick anyway, or something like that.
Of course, I mean, you've got China. I'm sure their healthcare system is less than desirable, but what did they just try to quarantine? They tried to quarantine 55 million people in their homes over there in that Wuhan or wherever it is. But I mean, China's just a huge petri dish. When you put 1 billion plus people in one area, I mean, of course, it's a large country, but area wise, but probably most of them are 80% of them are maybe in cities, but it's just you're bound and determined and just prone to have a big, massive outbreak of anything. And of course, now they've had about 2 or 3 cases found over here in the States, and maybe one in Canada. And I guess they were.
Well, they all came from that Wuhan or whatever.
Everybody came. All the stuff is they've just returned from a trip from China, and I don't know, Casey. Has anybody ever not returned from China with some kind of sickness?
I don't think so. I feel like you go to China. I mean, it's always a respiratory thing. You ever notice that?
It always is.
It's some kind of. No one's getting Ebola or something like that. They get come back with a cough every time, and I'm like, man, it's something in the air over there.
The only thing that killed more people, the only thing that killed millions of people from China was Genghis Khan, and that was 2,000 years ago, and now a third of the world has his DNA.
That's actually from Mongolia.
Mongolia, China, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the Nieces, right?
Pretty. If he didn't come from the Rubella province, I'm gonna be surprised. So yeah. Mongolia. Yeah, I mean, I was afraid you were going to say Mongolia, but I didn't know your history as well as you did. So it's obviously the market got scared of it. Now that's pretty much all out of its system, and stock market made a huge rally yesterday, and
so did grains, man. Grains
made a big
all
rally.
They lost. Yeah.
Only people that didn't participate in that was the livestock yesterday. So it's I guess they're still a little scared of it. And as far as the cattle, which I was kind of surprised, they in the cattle, like in the livestock, they really bull spread those front 2 months. Well, they bought up February and broke off everything else behind it. But I guess maybe the more I think about it, I guess the more it makes sense, because you figure if there's a virus, it's immediately going to impact, people's, the demand for meat right away, but maybe they're discounted further out in the past. But the long story short of the coronavirus, I think it's going to be here, and it'll probably be gone just like most any other scare. Everybody tries to make, the latest, latest disease into the bubonic plague of the Middle Ages. And it's just, it's just not like that it used to be. We have a little bit more on the ball than we did in old merry England and Prussia and all those good places where they, slept with the rats, and then they slept just like the old people in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the grandparents and
4 or 5 deep
all in the same bed. Yeah, it's 4 deep.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, his grandson gets a golden ticket and he can dance and run around the bed. So something tells me. Meanwhile, mom's busting her ass washing clothes on a washboard. Yeah. So, I think. I mean, and I hope. It's obviously a bad thing. People are dying out there, but I think it's probably contained. How many people die of influenza every year? Globally, thousands and thousands of people die from influenza, and it's people just kind of go with it. It's like it's just part of life. So I think it's going to be, and I hope it is a non-issue here before long.
Yeah. If not, they'll have to do you ever seen the movie Outbreak?
Oh yeah,
where they firebomb a city.
If Dustin Hoffman and Rene Russo show up, then you can start getting worried.
Kevin Spacey gets sick because he cuts a hole in his.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
in his thing.
Yeah,
so, I kind of watched that show a few times. I watched it 2 weeks ago, I think. I was like, Outbreak, and I kind of believe that the suit that he was wearing, if he's really that worried about dying from this virus, that it'd be a little more durable than what it was. He just got his hose snagged on something, and next thing you know, it ripped a hole in it. I'd be kind of worried about that.
It looks like that cover they put on the lunar lander, where it's just paper thin, and they don't have to have it thick because space doesn't have any air resistance. So
I was kind of, I was kind of like, that can't be true. I mean, when I was in college, you're right. I was what they call those epidemiologist or whatever. Whereas, I did a lot of that kind of stuff. And then I flunked out of the first week, and they said, you can't come back.
You didn't do a lot of stuff if you were only there a week, unless it was a busy first week.
They were like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I thought this was gym class. My bad.
Is this not walking?
I thought we were taking golf or something. I thought
right.
But anyway.
That's the dream there. That's the dream.
But crazy stuff going on out there.
It really is, if you it makes for good news story. It makes for good shock value. So
of course, you got to keep that news cycle filled somehow, right? You have 24 hours to keep things going. So
right, got to keep it alive. So
and speaking of which, news cycle, it looks like Bernie Sanders, to everyone's dismay, I guess, on the Democratic side of the aisle is he's going to be the big winner. It looks like in this whole presidential debate, unless they somehow rig it again to where he can't win like they did last time he was doing this.
Oh, okay, yeah. You don't think when people keep peeling off, other contenders keep falling out, they're not going to go to Biden?
No, I don't think so. I think this is where we're at in politics now, is that everyone's sick and tired. Whether you're on the left or the right or wherever you might be, everybody's so sick and tired of the establishment person. You know what I mean? Everybody wants a guy or gal that's on the outside. And, I mean, people like on the Democrats, like Tulsi Gabbard, for example.
Right.
She's really one of those kind of outside-the-box thinkers as far as what you would believe. And if you listen to what she said and her tweets and everything that's out there, she's one of those people that actually takes in the information, processes it, and then makes a decision and not just pulls some party line thing. And I think that's where we're at in politics now. Everyone's just tired of it. Everyone's tired of the bullshit. And that's just...
Yeah, and hence Trump in 2016.
Right. Of all people in the country that probably should have never even gotten as far as he did, right?
Right.
Ross Perot should have had a better chance of being president. But
if it weren't for Ross Perot, we wouldn't have had Bill Clinton. So
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But he was ahead of his time, I guess. When you start thinking about what he was doing.
Yes, he was. See,
hear that giant sucking sound out there? That's the jobs leaving the U.S.
See what I mean? Now let me pull over this next poster, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See this pie graph here? Now see that little sliver? That's all the jobs here. See that big sliver? That's everybody sitting at home watching TV, just like they're watching me right now on a television set.
That guy was fun to listen to. He made me laugh.
He was. No, that old nasal. Dana Carvey did a great impression.
Yeah, he did.
See on this now. I'm going to pull up this next pie. Now this is a cherry pie chart. See.
Yeah, he had good stuff, but I don't know. You take a look at what's going on and what's going on around us. Is that everybody wants somebody that's on the fringe. I mean, whether it's on the right or the left or wherever, and the centrist doesn't really have a place anymore. And so it kind of depends on where you're at and where your political beliefs lie and what you're doing. How extreme you're going to get. I think some of those extremes, like Elizabeth Warren, for example, who's everything. You're either a racist or
evil rich person.
Yeah. Which makes me laugh. They got the evil. Everybody on the Democratic side hates billionaires, but one of the guys running for president, I think, is a
Tom Steyer and
white rich
Bloomberg.
Billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? You can't write that kind of stuff.
How much wider can the Democratic field be?
Exactly. Yeah.
Got a fake Indian.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Guy from Vermont, probably the whitest state in the union.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Steyer, he's pale.
Right.
Bloomberg, it's just,
Yep. So it's
very
So what do you think? Have you watched any of those debates? Like I don't watch any debates, to be honest with you.
No,
I don't watch Republican debates. I don't watch Democratic debates very often. I might catch a few glimpses here and there when they're on, or listen to some. But I
watched some of the Republican debates back in 2016 when we had the big field. But I don't watch. I just listen to the highlights the next day and let the right wing radio pull out all of the really cool clips that make them sound just more stupid than they actually are. Well, no, it's probably not possible. But no, I don't watch them. I'll watch the actual presidential debates between the Republican and Democrat. But even that, I kind of fade out after about 20 or 30 minutes. So because you know what they're going to say, and it's just nothing new. So I mean, well, Trump, you don't know what he'll say.
No,
he'll say something wild, but if Bernie gets the nomination, it could be like Reagan in '84, where he wins, I don't know, 45 states. I mean, of course, it's a whole lot crazier than it was then, but didn't Reagan win like 49 states in '84 against McGovern?
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he won.
No, not that McGovern. That was McGovern and Nixon, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, you're thinking of, what's his name?
Mondale.
No, Reagan won against
Dukakis. No, that was Bush.
It was Jimmy Carter.
No, well, yeah, his first term, but the re-election.
Oh, the re-election. Okay, yeah. That was what? No, because Dukakis had to bow out, didn't he? Because
Dukakis went against George H.W. Bush.
But didn't he have to bail because he got caught with like a kid or something that he didn't have or something like that, like a love child or something? No,
he ran the Democratic nomination. Let's see. Let's go back here. I got to pull it up because now I got to know. Fast facts. This is from CNN.
Oh, it's going to be. It's fake
probably
news.
Born died. Yeah. Let's see. 1984 is reelected. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, anyway, we'll find it here at some point. But so he won in just a crazy landslide victory in '84. So we'll do Ronald Reagan 84. 1984, he went against Walter Mondale. Thank you very much. Only state Reagan didn't win was Minnesota, and that's where Walter Mondale was from.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ronald Reagan got 525 electoral votes, while Walter Mondale got 13. He got 10 from he got 10 from Minnesota and then 3 from D.C., I guess. So, yeah, it was a pretty big landslide, but I don't see California, New York, Hawaii, any of those states going for Trump. So,
I have a hard time believing that. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
No.
If he won California, I might be like, might be some voter fraud there. I would just go out on a limb.
No, I wouldn't go for it. So, it's I think Trump's. I think it doesn't matter who he's going to go against. I think he'll have just a huge shot at re-election, which most incumbents do. So,
it's not like he's like shattering some record there. I mean,
no,
the overwhelming majority of incumbents get reelected.
Yeah,
unless there's just some like catastrophic thing that happens, and then like Jimmy Carter, for example, when he went from having 10% interest to 75% interest,
right.
And they're like, I don't think this is going to work for us.
Or if you have some pipsqueak going in there as a third-party candidate and you're blowing up the Republican and you wheel off about 4 million votes from the Republican Party, see? Yeah. Now, I've got a pie chart over here that shows just what I did to the 1992 presidential election.
Yeah.
See, Bill Clinton got this pie slice here, and it's just a little bit over the 50% mark. And I've got this one little sliver of 3% that completely controlled the election. And we had a fornicator in the Oval Office, Casey. A fornicator.
I forgot about that.
with a college intern, a fornicator.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
I'm going to take a Texas Instruments TI-82 up there and calculate just the travesty and the scale of inequity that fornicator in the Oval Office brought to this country.
Yeah, I forgot about the whole that made me laugh. I forgot about that one. Even when I was a little kid, because I think when I would have been, I was 90.
Well, I was
18.
In 92,
I guess I was 18.
I was 11. I was 11 in 92. So
92, I would have been 12, 13, something like that. So yeah,
I'd have been 12 or 15. I can't remember. So yeah, but
let's do the math real quick. But whatever.
Great. Oh, you haven't been around long, have you?
Have not. No.
But
I'm just a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, just a whippersnapper. See, I got experience. I can get up there in the White House. You got this crazy lunatic fornicator from Arkansas, and then you got this stuttering buzz from Massachusetts up in Kennebuckport.
Yep. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff,
man.
Good stuff.
But it's good times. You got to have a good time.
Yep. So your latest podcast is about to drop here. What was this week's topic?
It actually just dropped. We, Landon and I, go through our spam filters, and we see if we can find our important tax documents. We never do find our tax documents, but we do find a lot of interesting offers and free internet promotions. Very good information. You need to check it out. It's out there right now because I dropped it just before you and I started recording. So we talk about that. We've got a great sponsor this week, Dutch Oven Perfumes. You'll throw the sheets over your wife, and she'll love you all the more. So check that out, and it'll be a great listen.
Sounds like it. Super jacked. Can't wait for that to come out. Where I was going to ask you something really, really funny and popular and just so
and
dynamic.
Witty.
Yeah, but I
Clever.
forgot what it was. Totally forgot what it was.
If y'all can't see Casey right now, but his head is literally about to explode.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to talk to you about.
Well, I'm glad we're doing a podcast right now, then.
Good thing you can edit all this stuff out if you wanted to.
Just take it all out. Just take it all out. We'll start all over.
Start all over. We're going to
got your Al Qaeda curtain behind you and everything. And it looks like you got a haircut. So,
yeah, high and tight. That's how I like it.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Just like Ron Swanson.
Yep.
Yeah. No. So it's a great time up there. Y'all standing around in snow?
No, man. I'll tell you what. We've had the same weather for about 3 weeks now. Where
really
it's been about 45 degrees.
Huh.
It's weird. And then the wind hasn't blown. That's another weird thing. So.
Well, no, we've had the wind. Yeah, if it's one thing we've had, it is wind. But no, we've had a good little. We probably got maybe maybe a tenth of moisture. So it was something. January is our driest month, so it's pretty. Everybody gets pretty excited up here. Yeah,
we have. We've gotten a little. We had a little skiff of snow come through the first part of the week, but it's right back up to 45 degrees again. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This last year, the same kind of weather pattern happened, and it was. We got snow from like February through June. It seemed like.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't do that same thing again because we had a. I'm trying to think. I took my kids to school last year, and the last day of school, we had 6 inches of snow, May 26th.
Holy cow!
So
wow.
Hopefully, don't have that again.
We're kind of on track to get our average normal snowfall for the whole winter because we've had like 4 inches back in October, and then we've had probably maybe 4 or 5 since then, and not all at the same time, but so we might get our foot of snow for the year, or maybe 10 inches. So yeah, it's wild and woolly.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Brent. Folks want to reach out to you and hit you up on Twitter or wherever else they might find you. Where would they do that at?
Oh, you can find me at Trader Brent on Twitter, and I actually just opened up an Instagram account, although I don't know how it works because I haven't done any of it yet. Let me see if I can pull it up.
You're on the gram.
Yeah. On the gram, but I guess I'm something Brent on there. I noticed people started following me. So check me out there whenever I'll tweet that link out, and we'll get me really famous and popular. So yeah, but I'm all over that. Of course, I'm on Facebook, and then as we said, we're all over the podcast platforms, just like the Moving Iron podcast is.
Yeah. Okay. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and the Twitter at Moving Iron LLC. You can also hit me up on email at movingironpodcast@movingironpodcast.com. Check out this week. We're going to have a great guest this week, and we're going to talk about farm equipment. So great. I mean, that pretty much narrows it down as to what we're going to talk about.
Are you teasing it?
I'm teasing it.
Sweet.
Teasing it just for a little bit there. And
when's it coming out?
That's a good question. It could come out on Friday. So might be Saturday. It could be Sunday.
It's even teasing you, huh?
Yeah. There's just so much unknown there. It's just tantalizing. You can't get enough. You know what I mean?
I won't be able to leave the house.
Yeah. You just wait. It's coming. It's coming. Also on the Global Ag Network, same place you can find Brent's great podcast, and you can also look around and see me on about any other podcasting platform that's out there. So with that being said,
I think we found some of your advertisements in our spam folders this episode, so be sure to stay tuned.
I will have to check it out, see what I missed.
I mean, come on, Moving Iron.
It's quality.
Yeah, Moving Iron. You don't think they're going to parody that into some kind of,
Of course. I'm sure there's all kinds of things that your two boy will come up with, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
So I'd like to thank Dawson Tire for being a great sponsor of this great podcast. And
Dawson Tire.
With that being said, I'm Casey Seymour with Brent Carlson. It's going to move smart, folks. Out.
Moving higher in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving higher, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.